Right then, this is the third episode for CEOteacher Season 2. I am your host, Dawood Vaid. In my years of teaching students, training teachers, talking to parents, I've realized something that happiness is a shy bird. The more you try to trap it, she would run away. The more you try to find it and just wait for it, as in the words of spiritual gurus, seek it, it comes running to you. Last episode, I spoke to you about don't be a rock star. So what do I name this one? Be a rock star. Oh well, here is another musician's story who got kicked out from another band. The stories are very similar except that the endings are very different. That was 1983, this was 1962. It was somewhere in Liverpool, England, a band with some funny haircuts and a funnier name of an insect was about to record their first band. So who were the band members? Well, there was this John, the lead singer, Paul, the romantic bass player, George, the rebellious guitar player, and there was this drummer. The drummer was supposed to be the most handsome looking. Girls went wild for him. He didn't do drugs. He was the most professional guy. And fact that he would become the face of the band. Or would he? His name was Pete Best. But the problem with Pete Best was the other band members just didn't want him. And after 3 days of the first recording to begin, Pete was shown the door. Very similar, isn't it? No condolences, no explanation, no handshakes. Just told him, guys, we don't want the group, go away. The replacement the band bought was a strange looking guy called Ringo Starr. Ringo was older, had a big funny nose, but he agreed to have the same haircut as John, Paul and George. And then Ringo also promised to write songs about octopuses and submarines. What did the other guy do? Well, 6 months after Pete Best was fired, this band, now you know which I'm talking about, Beatles, the Beatlemania erupted in the world. John, Paul, George, Ringo. Ringo had become arguably the most famous face of the metallic band across the planet. You know, what did Best do? Oh well, probably Best fell into depression, and that's what most Englishmen would do. You'll find him in a reason to drink in a pub. We found our Ben Stokes there. But no, this was not the best he had. For the fact that Best didn't have to do the same thing. He just went out and enjoyed his life. Oh well, he had depression, his life was a wreck. But then he just went on to something that he made music of his own. In an interview almost in 1994, which is almost 30 years after he was thrown out from the Beatles, Pete Best says something amazing. He said getting kicked out of the Beatles was the best thing that happened to him. He said, I was surely under depression, but then I went back to my wife. My marriage survived. I have had children and have time for them. His values change. Oh well, he also got fame. He got to play drums, tour Europe, record albums. What did he lost? He lost a lot of attention, some adulation, great fans. But then what he gained was something bigger. What are your values and what are you gaining for? Oh, look at the two stories, and I recommend if you have not heard the first one, go back and hear the first one, Don't Be a Rockstar, and then hear this one called Be a Rockstar. I'll give you some suggestions, and I'm doing this from Mark Manson's book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Damn. Teet. But then what I'm trying to say is, we sometimes measure ourselves against people we don't like, or we don't want to be appreciated, or even, just be compared with. But most of us end up doing that. This is what I want to give you. From the last 2 episodes and only 10 minutes of what you heard me, I'm suggesting just be yourself, have fun, be a rock star, but on your own rights, not in somebody else. This is Dawood Vaid signing off from CEOteacher. Until then, have a great day.